Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts, CLR Bruce Rivers. I am that guy. I am Bruce Rivers. I am board certified criminal defense lawyer, board certified by the National Board of Trial Advocacy and the Minnesota State Bar Association as a criminal trial specialist and a criminal law specialist, which means I go to trial and I win more than I lose. Anyway, today's episode is brought to you by eforms.com. That's eforms.com. If you are doing anything legal and you want to take a stab at it yourself, you're going to need a form, right? So go to eforms.com. Whether you need a power of attorney, whether you need a business agreement, whether you need a rental agreement, there's all kinds of things that you can get at eforms.com. Look at our link in the bio and you won't be disappointed because this will give you a leg up on whatever you need to do. It's taking the guesswork out of the legal business that you might have to do, and you can do it on your own. So today we're reacting to the Andrew Tate. Now here's the thing. This is the brainchild of Michael Rivers, our creator and producer and content genius. And so I don't know jack about Mr. Tate. Michael says this is the guy to talk about. So let's just start this video and I'll react to it on the other side.
Andrew Cobra Tate is currently the most viral person in the world. More people are searching for him than Kim Kardashian, the NHL, Joe Biden, and the entire
Never heard of him.
country of Romania, which is where he currently resides. He gained over 2 million followers in the past few weeks, and that doesn't even represent how much dominance he's had over all of social media in the past few months. Why? Well, every couple of years, social media gets introduced to a new self-proclaimed alpha male, red pill finance expert who flaunts his lifestyle and
See, but you guys have seen the show Greed, right? Anytime you see any guy like this that flexes, you know, do I flex a little bit? Tiny bit. But do I really flex? I don't really flex. I'm real. I got a real life. I have a mortgage on my house. I go to work every day and I represent clients. Sometimes they're pains in the asses. I have a regular life. I'm not flexing like these guys do to get clout.
who is idolized by a community of other males online. But Andrew is not just a typical phony that's pretending.
Take a look at this guy for starters. I know nothing about him, okay? But I can tell you this, I wouldn't let him date my daughter.
To be something he's not for a little bit of YouTube views and Instagram followers. He really is a multimillionaire. He really is a kickboxing world champion, but he's also accused of being a money-laundering Romanian mafia ally who runs a global sex trafficking business while selling his Make Money Fast course, dubbed Hustlers University, to his millions of followers. Most videos covering Tate just focused on the surface level stuff he says for views.
If my chick said, I want to do OnlyFans, I'm like, all right, then cool, go do it. How much you made? 10 grand, all right, give me 8. All right, cool. All right.
What woman is going to give you 8 grand?
Because you're my woman, you're doing OnlyFans, you're selling my product.
Your product.
Yes,
The
correct.
woman, it's not
Next
your
question.
possession. No.
That's the world we live in now. Females are entitled and fucking lazy.
Another thing I learned is that women are only loyal to the dick they're sucking.
He says these shocking and bewildering ideals to get a rise out of people. Those reactions, whether they're good or bad, lead to more views and obviously fame and
So that is one thing that I don't do. I mean, do I do a little bit of shock? Not, I mean a little bit, but I try to make it fun. But what I do more than anything else is I try to keep it real. I try to entertain and I try to educate. But I don't change who I am to do that. And I don't think I'm all that in a bag of chips. Like this guy, he and his wife probably are in love with the same person, himself, which he probably doesn't even have a wife.
followers, a strategy as old as time.
I know exactly what I'm talking about all of the time.
He isn't playing a character, he does believe what he says, but the way he says these things is calculated. You can find hours and hours of content where he sits down and talks about things like, should you let your girlfriend go to the club? And can your girlfriend have a guy best friend? But I want to go deeper. Where does this behavior come from? Why does he have all these shocking allegations against him? Let's take a look at the dark side of Andrew Tate. Andrew's father, Emory Tate, was described by his peers as somewhat of a superhero. He was a staff sergeant in the US Air Force. He was fluent in Russian, Spanish, German, and English, a martial artist as well. But most notably, he was a chess international master who had many victories over grandmasters. A grandmaster is the highest level you can achieve as a chess player. To this day, the chess world is confused why he was never officially a GM when he met all of the qualifications. Emory was a trailblazer and inspiration for black chess players around the world. Unfortunately, chess doesn't pay the bills. Emory was poor. He competed in tournaments and pickup games in the park for money to get to his next location or next meal. He raised his 3 children to think like him. Think of life like a chess match. Every move is calculated, knowing what 1, 2, or even 10 moves will come after that. Emery was nomadic, multicultural, and free. He encouraged his children to be the same way. Andrew grew up in Gary, Indiana, notoriously one of the worst places in America. He took a liking to chess. At age 5, he was an Indiana state champion. At 6 years old, he was playing against 3 10-year-olds and winning. Then at age 11, his parents got divorced, and his mother moved him and the kids to Luton, England. This is where he would grow up. Living with his mother meant that he no longer had a chess coach. He no longer spent 3 to 4 hours a day with his dad learning strategy. All he had was his younger brother Tristan, which altered his life path immensely. He picked up became his new passion. Fighting and chess are similar in 2 ways. Each sport is a one-on-one battle between 2 people. There's basically no luck involved. Every move, movement, punch, and piece move needs to be calculated. Your opponent must react based on your choice. The biggest difference is that fighting is obviously physically demanding and mentally challenging, whereas chess is only mental. Because of his chess background, he was already mentally ready. As he grew tall and strong, he obeyed his trainer and worked to become a 6'4", 200-pound kickboxing mixed martial artist. In the early 2000s, he fought in an MMA league and a kickboxing league. He had a 3-2 amateur record in the MMA Ultimate Warrior Challenge in the UK. In his pro MMA debut, he knocked out Shane Kavanaugh. However, he stuck to kickboxing since he made more money from it. In his International Sport Kickboxing Association career, he lost his first 2 fights, then went on a 4 consecutive win streak before getting a title shot against Paul Randall in 2009. He won the Cruiserweight Championship in this bout, then he defeated Daniel Hughes for the IKF Cruiserweight title. But before social media dominated our world, someone like Andrew had to resort to more classic media like radio and TV to get his name out there and promote fights. Around 2009, he explored the world of reality TV. He sat down with his brother Tristan and said, "How can we get rich?" They spent countless hours on YouTube, researching the Federal Reserve, banking institutions, inflation, investing, and how money works. One day while scrolling through the internet, he saw an ad, "Talk to Live Girls Now," which brought him to a live stream where you can communicate with a real woman. He immediately realized the opportunity of creating a webcam business because he conveniently had 6 girlfriends in different countries. Evidently, being a world-class athlete gets women very interested in you, even if you aren't rich. He told them all to fly to London because he had a business proposal. When they got there, they all looked at each other shocked. 2 of them felt betrayed and left. 4 of them heard his business plan, and only 2 of them stayed. So it was just the Tate brothers and their 2 girls. The girls would do their thing on camera, chat with the men. They had a keyboard that was unplugged, but Andrew would sit behind the computer off camera and talk to the men in the live chat, pretending to be the girls, and they would do things or say things in exchange for money.
It really is remarkable how people will spend their money. I've got people that try to give me gifts all the time. I've got people as clients who just do some of the craziest shit for money. When you're sitting in your mother's basement and you have a bowl full of fucking Cheetos and your boxer shorts are all orange and you're talking to what you think is some hot chick, and all of a sudden it is some bald 6'4" overbloated internet celebrity, get a fucking grip. Honestly, I mean, what a fraud. What an absolute fraud. And so if you're one of those guys that are into that, you find something else. I mean, it's just fucking pathetic. But there's a lot of you out there. There's a lot of guys with Cheeto-stained boxer shorts sitting in their mother's basement. Guys, get out of your mother's basement. Get out of your mother's basement. Go do something. Go meet somebody. I don't care if you're a fat, bloated piece of shit. There's somebody out there for you.
He said he was generating around $3,000 per day.
And once the girls learned they could do it themselves, then I thought, I need some more chicks.
In order to grow his business efficiently.
See, here's the thing. You can be like this guy, and you can make all kinds of money. What's fundamental through something that I do is doing good, trying to provide a service to our fellow man. And, just going after the dollar, and that's all you're going after, is empty. It's an empty pursuit, and it'll catch up to you.
He needed to hire women who would offer themselves for his service, but not have the ambition or expertise to build a website, run ads to get traffic, and converse with men online, maintain their finances, pay for the internet, and all the overhead that goes along with running an online business.
Okay.
So when you are setting something like this up, the danger is that you're trafficking, you're doing human trafficking, because it's ultimately going to go there. And that's where I see this kind of headed. I haven't seen this video, and like I said, I don't know jack about him. But you're flying people in from all over the world for a sexual purpose. Granted, the OnlyFans stuff is legal, but it's not a far stretch for that to go to another place.
Cam girl is much more a therapist than she is a porn star.
Bullshit. It's keep them on the line as long as possible. Drain their fucking... There's nothing therapeutic about this whatsoever. It's addictive is what it is.
Like, she can make so much money from showing her whatever, but she makes the big money from making these guys like her, being funny, banter.
Basically, he was building what exists on Twitch today in the hot tub section. At his peak, he had 75 women.
And if you are going to the hot tub section on Twitch, take stock. Just fucking take stock. Find a girlfriend, and then go to dinner with her. And guess what? She'll smell a lot better than that keyboard that you're dealing with.
Women working for him at 4 different locations. However, this was a huge mistake, according to him.
75 women worked for me at the peak of it all. But that was a mistake.
75 women. Okay, these are people coming from all over the place. He's definitely flying them in. He's having them work. He's having them do sex work, and it's maybe OnlyFans. But guess what? I can just see this right now where this is going. And this Patrick Cece is doing a fantastic job in laying all this out.
Mistake, because when you have a bunch of girls working for you like that, the only way you can motivate them is with money. When I started,
the only way you can motivate them is with money. I mean, give me a fucking break. This guy, and with the glasses, here's the thing. Anybody that just wears glasses indoors, I'm suspect of already. But when he says, it's totally real fast, and this guy's making me sick.
Because they loved me, right? That's the old school pimp game, isn't it?
Downsizing to just 8 women.
There's nothing honorable in the old school pimp game. The old school pimp game, guess what they do? They fucking abuse the women, and they use them, and once they're not producing, they chuck them aside.
Women, 4 of which were his girlfriends, and 4 were his brother Tristan's girlfriends, was when they all worked together to make the most money they ever had. Since they were all motivated, and in his words, in love with him, they were able to generate $400,000 per month with his online cam business.
That when a girl worked for me, it was 50-50.
Look at him without his shirt on, and look at his companion next to him. Which one's better looking?
So the girls who loved me and worked for me, my main girlfriends, they'd get probably around 20% of their money.
Here's the thing. I've seen guys dip their toe in the depravity water. In other words, they, I got 4 girlfriends, blah, blah, blah. You know what? It just goes on and on and on, and it gets worse and worse and worse in terms of the depravity. It's just, and so I can totally see where this is going.
Some people immediately look at this and think, well, he's a pimp, insinuating that these women are afraid of him, and he's forcing them into doing work that they don't want to do.
People have this idea that, oh, you're a pimp, you just get these girls, you say, work, and they're scared of you, and they just work. It's bullshit. I was doing this in London. A girl could have walked out the door any day, called the police on me any day, and they didn't. They wanted to be with me because they genuinely understood that their life was better if they obeyed me.
Listen to that statement. Their life is better if they obeyed me. If they obeyed me. Who does that sound like? Remember R. Kelly and all the people that he had under his fucking control and how they talked about him afterwards? How about the people that were under Epstein's control? The juveniles. They're better off if they fucking obey me. Give me a break.
Jesus Christ. I was the second man she ever f***ed in her whole life, man. It hurt her at every moment that I was doing it. But it felt good for me, so who gives a shit?
Andrew uses strong words like obey me.
And it does, when you are that narcissistic, guess what? You get sloppy. You got all this money, right? You can do whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want. And guess what? When you're like that, you get sloppy and you start to lose perspective. And, guys, this is every fucking guy out there. Get a moral compass. Make sure you have a moral compass. Make sure it drives what you're doing. Don't be like this guy, because guess what? You can have a lot of money, but it can be short money.
Which is what tends to get him in trouble a lot. His strong diction indicates he is totalitarian and dictator-like, but some people argue that he just speaks as clearly and directly as he can. If he said, "My girls trusted my ambition and leadership," people might not be as shocked. But when you read what he wrote on his website, it insinuates that his girlfriends were coerced into working for him, and maybe didn't leave because of fear. "I've had over 75 girls work for me, and my business model is different than 99% of webcam studio owners. Over 50% of my employees were actually my girlfriend at the time, and none were in the adult entertainment industry before they met me."
So what does that tell you? Remember what they said earlier in the video? One of the things about having, either a girlfriend or somebody that isn't experienced in doing this, he didn't want anybody with ambition. He didn't want anybody that had prior experience knowing what they can do so they can go do it on their own. He wanted people that he could what? Control. Damn right. And so you get these girls, and they're probably all good looking, but they're all probably damaged goods in some way. They see the money, they see the flash, so they're attracted by that, and then they get isolated.
Sadly, in 2015, Emery Tate passed away unsuspectedly during a chess match in California. For its 17th season. The format of the show is very similar to a typical reality series. A bunch of contestants in a house. They have to do challenges to maintain a status in the house. One person gets voted out each week until the last person ends with a cash prize. But we all know the challenges are like 10% of why people watch, and 90% is for the drama, relationships, toxicity, and chaos that comes with strangers living together. After just 7 days on the show, he was booted off. Andrew says it's because the producers were afraid of a physical altercation taking place, in which obviously Tate would destroy the other men in the house. However, there was a video made public that shocked a lot of people and got him kicked off the show.
You message one other guy ever again, whether we're together or not. You understand me?
So look at this. This is ridiculous. And I guarantee you that he probably carries this over into his personal life if he's going to do this on a show like this.
You understand me?
Did I say the word listen? Did I say the word listen? Stupid bitch.
Tate said that a part of the video was cut out where they were laughing and joking, making him look bad. He also provided a video of the same girl and her response to the outrage on social media, leading people to believe that it was consensual.
You gonna do it again? Are you gonna do it like a man this time?
What do you mean like a man this time? Last time I beat you
Pussy last time.
like a...
Really? I mean, is that a man? Does a man beat a woman? My mantra has always been, you never put your hands on a woman like that, ever, even if she's begging for it. I mean, that's ridiculous. And see remember what I was telling you early on? Once you dip your toe in that depravity water, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse.
Pussy. I beat you so bad, I've been called a woman beater all over the f***ing country.
Well, to me that was like a pussy. You need to do it like a real man. Or stop taking a bell off.
Would be half of what it is if I'd never invested in cryptocurrency. But at the time, I didn't see it as an investment. I was in a world where the people I was dealing with took crypto. It was easier for me to take their crypto than to take big bank payments.
They didn't buy into crypto because they were savvy investors. They insinuated that the business people they were dealing with preferred to use an untraceable and encrypted payment method. Spending tens of thousands of dollars of Bitcoin led them to getting filthy rich, kind of by accident. For the next couple of years, Andrew casually flaunted his lifestyle on Instagram while being very openly supportive of Donald Trump and the MAGA community. He has been seen having dinners and meetings with famous right-wing journalists and politicians. Obviously, this made him a lot of enemies online and became the self-proclaimed king of toxic masculinity.
How about just plain old good old-fashioned masculinity? And the only reason he's doing this is because it sells. Controversy sells. One of the reasons our channel sells is because, why? Because, I'm direct and I say things that people are probably thinking, but you just don't hear it quite that way. However, I always try to be respectful. Now, do I swear a little bit too much sometimes? Yeah, okay, maybe I do. But I try to be respectful. I try to promote good ideas. I try to promote positivity. I try to promote education. I don't try to just shock just for shock's sake.
However, he ran into a major problem that almost destroyed his cam business. Tate owned a 10-bedroom house that became the workspace for these women. He kept food and alcohol in the house so that they could loosen up for work.
The girls used to drink, and this one girl drank too much wine. She threw up everywhere. I told her to clean up. She started giving me some attitude, so I took all her shit.
Stop giving some attitude. I mean, in other words, she had a mind of her own, and she said what she fucking felt, and probably was sick of taking your shit, and sick of listening to you, sick of being under your control.
Threw out the window. Got her 2 arms, took her ass, put her outside my door.
The girl demanded that he pay her the 1,000 euros that she was owed, and he didn't. Then 3 months later, at 5 o'clock in the morning, the English police raided his house.
Wow, and now all of a sudden we got the cops involved. Guess what? This is so predictable. It is absolutely predictable.
Took $100,000 worth of electronics, computers, cameras, and phones, and opened an investigation on him. Apparently, the woman just said that he hit her, and that prompted this raid.
Door comes off the hinges, boom, police bust in, fully armored, helmet.
However, every single girl that was in the house defended Andrew and said that he did not hit her and that she was lying. The woman even admitted to lying about the situation, but it still took him 2 years and $450,000 in legal fees for the case to close and for him to not be charged with any crimes.
So, didn't we see this with R. Kelly? I mean, when the money's flowing and they want to be around all that hype, but then when it gets a little quieter, things tend to change. But you think was that worth it? I mean, all he had to do was pay her $1,000 and she would have gone away. But he didn't. And so then some of his secrets were revealed. And now that cost him $500,000. Now you might say that's only 1 month's worth of... No, but that cost him big time. A lot more than $450,000.
This situation prompted his move to Romania, which was the ideal place for him to live for a few different reasons.
People say, why did you live in Romania? And I explain my 5 reasons. One of them is the Me Too era. They go, oh, well, you're a rapist. I say, no, I'm not a rapist. But I like the idea of being able to just say, to do what I want. I like being free.
And I met a police chief, and I told him my story. And he said, well, in Romania, if she doesn't have proof of physical, if she doesn't have physical evidence, then there's no progression. If she can't say...
That's why he removed her in Romania. In Romania, as he said, if they don't have physical evidence, they don't have a case. That's why he moved to Romania, to be without that oversight.
Here's a red mark, or here's where he hurt me. There's no case. There's word on word. And I said, that makes a lot more sense.
So Romania is absolutely corrupt, but it's a corruption that everyone can participate in. I would much rather live in a country that's corrupt, where I get stopped for speeding and I give them a little bit of money, than a country that's corrupt like America, which says it isn't corrupt. You have to be a billionaire and have a private jet and go to islands to get away with it, you know? Like, if you're going to be corrupt, which every nation on earth is, then let everyone play the game.
This is a self-snitch if I've ever heard it.
It seems like Andrew moved to Romania to participate in a corrupt society. His mindset is that all governments are corrupt. At least in this country, he can be a part of it. So he started a new life with new businesses in Romania. There isn't a ton of information about his businesses, and he obviously doesn't like to talk about them. However, he bought a bunch of land out there and now cultivates tobacco, which he intends on producing his own cigars. He also owns 10% of the RXF, which is basically like the Romanian UFC. Some of the fights, he and his brother Tristan do the English commentary.
I never dreamed I'd have that name!
Where he sold a course on how to get girls, a course on how to get in shape, a course on chess, a course on body language, and even a course on building your own webcam empire. Everything you would see from a typical YouTube guru. Over time, he started to move outside of the pointless rants and into more serious topics.
My problem with that gentleman is not that he was black. My problem with that gentleman is that he pulled a machete and tried to kill someone in broad daylight.
Think that you, as a person, can save the West and be more powerful than all the information, Google, the media, all the external forces, all these people pushing for America's demise? You don't stand a chance. Because I'm a happy, contented individual. And all the people who sit there and tell me, you shouldn't be so arrogant, they're the people who are unhappy. You shouldn't be arrogant. You should be like me, a meek, humble piece of shit. Well, I don't want to be like you because you're a fucking loser.
I don't want to be like you because you're a fucking loser. Who's the one that's on the run, to Romania? And maybe he's making bank, and it looks like he is. But, there's honor in not having to look over your fucking shoulder. There's honor and safety in having a decent job and being respectful of others. There's nothing weak or ignoble about it.
What's interesting is that Andrew didn't talk much about women and relationships too much in the beginning of his YouTube career. Sure, he had a...
Here's the deal. Any of you guys want to take any fucking relationship from this advice from this guy? call me personally. Just fucking call me and ask me, and I'll set you straight.
Videos were focused on money, success, and the mindset to get there. However, these types of videos typically are associated with the YouTube pickup artist, the ladies' man. As time went on, Andrew's followers requested that he give advice on women, male and female roles, and how he's able to have success with.
Here's the thing. You take away his MMA, you take away his money, and you got nothing. You got no charisma. You've got, you just got a mouth.
Women.
Girls run their mouth. I start beating the fuck out of them, not even having sex.
I just start beating the fuck out of them. I can't tell you how this just is so ridiculous. You know, you don't beat women. Why would you beat a woman? I mean, just for them running their mouth. Because you can't handle it? Because your fucking ears can't handle it? Because you want to control them? He likes to beat women. And this kind of behavior will ultimately be his demise.
They love it more than ever. They like it more. The less sex you have with them, the better. I have nothing to talk to women about besides either sleeping with them or... wait. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, guys. Here's the thing. That is so telling, honestly. He doesn't respect women. And that lack of respect, that toe... Actually, he's up to his fucking knees in the depravity water. And the lack of connection makes him think that women are just there for him to be used however he chooses, and they're to be obedient. And nothing could be further from the honorable truth.
Men are trying to get laid, so they pretend to be friends with the girl, hoping that one day she'll get drunk enough and let them fuck her.
Obviously, his bold statement.
Yeah, because that's all we want to do. We don't want to have a wife or a family or anything. It's all about just getting fucking laid. Bullshit.
Statements and opinions ruffled feathers. It was the type of content that attracted a lot of anti-women incels. But a lot of his...
You know what an incel is? Those are people who are involuntarily celibate. And those people just aren't trying hard enough.
Fans see the truth in his statements despite his bold delivery. He started getting more attention from YouTubers like Miss...
He looks like an incel.
Gigi and Leon Lush, making commentary videos about him. Comedian Tom Segura and his wife Christina P. would react to his videos very often on their podcast, with their reactions getting hundreds of thousands of views. However, that only helped him grow more. The War Room launches. The War Room is a global network in which exemplars of individualism work to free the modern man from socially induced incarceration.
What does that mean? The War Room is a global network in which exemplars of individualism work to free the modern man from socially induced incarceration. That means you're a victim and I'm going to free you from your money.
In 2019, it only cost $500 to get in. Today...
What'd I fucking tell you? I haven't seen this video. Come on, guys. I mean, if you're an incel, and you know if you are or not, then all you gotta do is go to fucking Sport Clips and get your hair cut. Go to Macy's and get a polo. You know, take a class. Take a painting class where you drink a little bit of wine. Guess what? You'll find some hot chick there. And then strike up a conversation. Get the fuck out of your mother's basement with your goddamn Cheeto-stained underwear. Don't listen to guys like this.
It costs $5,000 to get in. So who could possibly be in the network that would make it?
Hang on, I gotta rewind that. What?
It costs $500 to get in. Today, it costs $5,000 to get in.
Where do I fucking sign up for this guy? $5,000? Oh, guys, come on.
So who could possibly be in the network that would make it worth this much money? Well, there's author Bobby Dino and Iggy, master of spells and shadows. The War Room in Miami looked like some powerful...
Okay, the master of spells and shadows? How lonely do you have to be to part with $5,000 to join some online bullshit that is just nothing? Nothing. Oh, guys. I'm talking to every guy that ever signed up for his program. I want you to send me a message on either Instagram and I'll set your ass straight. There shouldn't be any incel, because if you're a dumpy looking guy, there's a dumpy looking girl for you someplace. And it doesn't matter. There's women and men, they match up. You don't have to be an incel. And what's more is guys like this prey on guys like you. Guys like me try to lift guys like you up.
Congregations. It's pretty unclear as to what they actually do.
Making money is easy. You just take it from somebody.
Okay, making money is easy. I mean, they couldn't be more fucking transparent, honestly. And I just...
Kind of like a country club. You get next to other people with money, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee you success. The biggest and most notable business he is associated with are the 15 casinos he opened up in Romania. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, his casinos closed down just 3 months after they opened.
The first thing is I own some casinos in Romania. 3 brothers, mafia guys, they own 400 casinos throughout Eastern Europe. I came up to them and said, look, I want to do a franchise with you. They said, we're not interested in franchises. We have enough money. We just open them ourselves. We turn over 10 million euros a day. Why do I need your franchise?
First of all, you never go into business with the mafia. You never do. I don't even like representing guys in the mafia because our expectations are. I like old time gangsters, like old time black gangsters who sell drugs and no business. You know, they're very easy to work with. They always pay and they have very reasonable expectations. The mafia is a completely different story. You get in with them, you never get out.
And I said, look, how about this? I'll open up your locations directly next to your biggest competitor. Worst case, the location doesn't pay any money, but at least it takes money from your competitor. I'll give you a percentage of turnover, so even if it doesn't make profit, you make money. I'll take all the financial risk.
I'm not sure what casinos they are, but just by a quick Google search, it seems like a ton are still closed in Romania. So he's been paying rent, and they haven't been open for potentially 2 years.
Sounds like a pretty damn good businessman to me. If you're running money through these and they're not open, but you got expenses and it's classic money laundering. Classic.
Pandemic impacted businesses around the world. Everyone was facing some serious financial pressure. So Andrew needed a way to come up with a new cash flow method. Hustlers University 2.0 was born.
Tell me he didn't get that right from Trump University. Right from Trump University. I mean, it's just preying on Hustlers University. Oh, you want to be a hustler? Let me teach you how. Give me a fucking break.
This was a no-nonsense crash course on how to get rich fast and be successful in business, taught by a multi-millionaire.
In Hustlers University 2.0.
And he really is not an incredible businessman. I mean, he is somebody that hit with some internet success and failed at his casino businesses, and now he's just chasing. And that's what these guys do.
University 2.0, we teach about fast money.
Short money.
I don't teach you how to save more money in a stagnant pool, because that's the way you're listening. If you do that, you're always going to be poor.
Hustlers University and the...
Okay, if you have a stagnant pool of money, you're always going to be poor. Bullshit. If you have a constant, you take $100, I'll tell you what I did. On just one of my investments, I took $100 a month, just $100 a month, and I bought Target stock with it every month, whether it went up or down. And guess what? It wasn't that long before that turned into $50,000. So that little stagnant piece of money is generating dividends, but you got to do it religiously.
War Room seemed to provide the same information as to how to make money online.
I just don't fucking trust somebody that talks like he does. Talk blah, 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 blah. I just don't trust guys like this. They just seem too fucking slick. They don't give a flying fuck about anybody. Bullshit. You got to care about people. You have to care about people, because when you have a lifestyle like this and you are that sociopathic, it catches up with you both legally and probably with controlled substances, and so it can bite you in the ass all the way around.
The War Room just hosts meetings in the physical world and costs $5,000.
Maybe we collect some money, and you guys send us all some money on Patreon, and then we'll have one of you be awarded a membership in the War Room for $5,000. I'm kidding. Don't do that. It's just insane.
We help people get multiple passports and multiple residencies, multiple bank accounts, because I believe your number one priority as the world reopens should be getting as many passports and residencies as possible, because slavery is absolutely coming to the world.
The university costs $50 per...
Okay, get as many passports as you... Well, that's not legal. As many bank accounts in fake names as possible? That's not legal. Slavery's coming to the world? See, that's one of the things these hustlers, these con artists do, is they try to make you feel panicked. So I better do this or that.
per month, and will teach you 18 modern wealth creation methods to get rich quick. These methods are so that you can escape the matrix.
So any form of oppression no longer applies to me. I can't be canceled, my finances are secure, I've escaped the matrix. And when I talk about the matrix, it primarily applies to men because men are the backbone of the slave force.
In order to effectively promote this business, he needed to take to social media. Andrew realized producing his own content was too limiting. He needed to collaborate with people who already had followings and platforms. He shows up, talks shit, entertains people, and promotes his course. So he does a media tour. Some key podcasts that helped him were the Fresh and Fit podcast, who are known in what is called the manosphere, which is a group of content creators who have very strong opinions on men and women gender roles. They typically admire and praise the traditional...
So here's the deal. I have very specific opinions on men and women gender roles. I mean, here's the thing. You do it right, the woman that you pick has got to be your partner, not just somebody that you bang. If you want to do that, then you don't need a partner. You know, you just go bang, 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 bang. And that's just stupid. That's short. And you find a partner and you build.
way of male and female dynamics. Man works, pays the bills, women raises the kids. Fresh and Fit are probably the biggest and most culturally relevant of all the podcasts in this media tour. They absolutely obsessed over Tate, fawned over him. Now 3 of their biggest podcast episodes ever are with Andrew, and he got adopted by that community. Another one that helped him a lot was Your Mom's House with Tom Segura, where Tom was genuinely laughing at Tate's jokes and genuinely agreeing with his ideals. Tom praised his comedy, which is a huge cosign from a professional stand-up comedian.
You're so rich, but you're smart and you're actually very intelligent, and I know you'd get really bored of a robot. And I'm sitting there thinking, bitch, I wish to God you were a robot. You better shut the fuck up. We talk about star signs? Oh yeah, I'm so glad. Tell me more about by Sagittarius, right?
Here's the thing. It's kind of funny sometimes to listen to somebody talk like this, but in reality, you need to be respectful of women. You know, you need to be respectful of just others, and he's not at all.
So I've had this argument with a feminist before. She's like, oh, well, we've never tried matriarchies. We've only tried patriarchies, blah, blah, blah. And I said, listen, bitch.
Some people thought this was all a character. Some people hated him for his abrasive and misogynistic takes, and some people praised him for being the ultimate alpha male. The combination made him an unstoppable force. His follower counts were rising significantly. In December 2021, he had 6,000 students paying him $50 per month on Hustlers University. $300,000 per month. That's not bad. Today, he has 110,000 students paying $50 per month. That is $5.5 million per month. $66 million per year, all profit. He says this course isn't about money. It's just him genuinely trying to better people's lives. He said,
that's bullshit. It's all about the money. Ain't a damn thing funny. He's got a con in the land of milk and honey.
He says, I already have money. I don't need money. It's the perfect sales pitch. Now nobody who signs up will think they're getting scammed. He said his brother makes about $300,000 per month on his OnlyFans management business. His 15 casinos have a ton of overhead costs. On top of being closed for 2 years, they would have to be in the heart of Las Vegas to pull anywhere near $1 million per month. His online course is more than likely his most successful business he has ever built. This course was all built on the idea of getting rich like him, and he was rich before, but $300,000.
See, when people look at the reason people sign up for stuff like that is because they're living their lives through this, right? They're not going out and doing something about it. The guys who are really rich or successful, they got their shit going on. They don't need a course like this. And I'm telling you, the guys who think they need a course like this don't need a course like this. They just need to get out of their Cheetos stained boxers and get their ass out of the basement of their mother and get onto the street and get a life and build.
Per month and $5 million per month are way different levels. Now he is filthy rich. So am I suggesting he made millions off podcast appearances? Well, not exactly, but he did make a very key change in his approach that changed everything. He instructed the members of the War Room to blow him up on social media. This is how. He went on as many podcasts and talk shows as he possibly could. While he was there, he performed. He told his members to clip as many segments as they could, edit them up a little bit, make an Andrew Tate page on TikTok, YouTube, or whatever social media, and post the clips as if it was him posting. The clips constantly went viral because of how polarizing he is. Andrew has an official YouTube and official Instagram, not even a Twitter anymore. Some students have TikTok accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers from simply clipping his podcast appearances. In their bio of their pages, they will have an affiliate link to the Hustlers University course. If someone signs up through their link, they get 10% of the first month sign-up fee, which is $5. So thousands of students are reposting his content, getting hundreds of thousands of followers, millions of views, absolutely flooding every algorithm on every social media with videos of him, making him insanely famous. Then when they get that attention, they use it to promote his course, in which they make $5 one time, and he makes $45, then $50 a month every month after. Literally, all these people are grinding for him for maybe a $5 sign up. And if nobody signs up, Andrew still benefits because his fame and relevance is skyrocketing. But like I said before, 110,000 signups, $5 million per month. His plan is working exactly the way he wanted it to.
And you're existing inside of a system which is deliberately rigged to make the rich richer and for the poor to stay poor.
Yeah.
A rigged system. Who does that sound like? When you look at what he's done here, it's actually genius on his part, because he's got all these little minions, 110,000 or so, posting constantly and hoping to get $5. And you know, it's got a little bit of a scummy scam vibe to it.
The average amount of money the person makes in their first month is only $300. Doesn't matter. It costs you $50 to join. After 3 months, $150 commitment, the average amount of money created by each individual is over $1,800.
So his modern making money fast techniques lead to an average of $300 in the first month, a whopping $250 profit in 30 days. That's $8 per day or $1 per hour. And after 3 months, you'll average $1,800. That's $1,650 profit, jump up to $18 per day or $2.25 per hour.
You can't just save money in a stagnant pool. You need to learn how to get fast money.
First month is only $300.
And buy the right things.
So it sounds like a scam. You know, it totally sounds like a scam, because all of a sudden now you're tied to him, and you're following this guru who's anything but. He's conning everybody.
Quickly.
First month is only $300.
You can buy more.
So according to his averages, working at McDonald's is a 7 or 8 times faster money-making method than his course. If you try to do any research on what the course entails, it's all videos of other people who are saying positive things about the course so that you will sign up using their affiliate link and they get paid. So we don't really know how valuable the information is inside the course.
The information that you're seeing there is 100% bullshit.
He was arrested. On April 11th, 2022, the Romanian police responded to an alleged kidnapping that 2 women were being held against their will in Andrew Tate's house and being...
So remember why he went to Romania to begin with? Because if there's no physical evidence, there's no crime.
Forced into sex. One of those women was American. The police were alerted by officials of the U.S. Embassy in Romania. The brothers were arrested, the house was searched, but nothing really happened and they were released. The report says that there is an ongoing investigation looking into a potential human trafficking case with these men.
Human trafficking, as you saw with Ghislaine Maxwell, who wasn't the main trafficker but was just as guilty as Epstein, got 19 years. So it doesn't matter how much money you have. Even if you're in Romania, you traffic anybody from the U.S., you're going to reach the long arm of the U.S. government, Department of Justice.
Tate brothers said that the American girl's boyfriend got jealous that she was at their mansion, and he called the cops lying, saying that she was held against her will.
I get about 50 to 100 DMs on Instagram a day from women.
Yeah. Please
Hot,
kidnap me.
hot women.
Please.
Will you kidnap
Hot
me?
women.
Smiley face.
Hot
Tate
women.
fans say, well, if they were actually doing those crimes, then they would be in jail. Whereas other people point out that
That's a classic. Well, if this, then that. I mean, the both of them can be true. And remember what he kept saying? He likes to control women. He likes to hit women. And he's got his full torso now in the depravity water.
a human trafficking investigation could take many, many years to conduct. Some people think he's guilty because of his suspicious ways of recruiting women to work for his cam business, on top of Tate's convenient reasons why he wants to live in Romania.
So Romania is absolutely corrupt. It's a corruption that everyone can participate in.
To say, no, fuck this. But I like the idea of being able to just say to do what I want.
Laws don't really apply to you. If they made a law in the UK I was unhappy with, I'd just leave. And if they made a law in Romania where I live I'm unhappy with, I would just leave.
What does that tell you? That tells you he's skirting on the edge of law and order. Not that I'm a huge law and order guy because I'm a criminal defense lawyer, but when it comes to this stuff and trafficking in women and controlling women and beating women and everything about him is misogynistic. There's some smoke, there's some fire.
One thing that Andrew Tate is not is dumb. He knows how to sell the dream, he knows how to say things that people want to share, and there's a lot of truth in his statements. He's had constant viral videos talking about how governments manipulate and control people, how they put lies into citizens' heads and create false realities. The Matrix.
And who is the one putting lies and falsity in people's heads? Who's the one spreading the myth? Who's the one that's telling the untruths? Who's the one that's selling the myth and making big money off of it?
Valuable thing on the planet today is human capital. Even the people at the very, very top echelons of life, all they care about is controlling people.
The only way
That's a self-professed statement right there. That's a self-snitch if I've ever heard it.
to escape the Matrix is to follow him and do what he says. He studied exactly.
This is how cult followings start. Or not start, or, end, I guess. You get people who just think he's, God's gift, and you got to hear this guy. You got to hear this guy, and they can create a huge following, which he has.
What he claims the Western world does. He understands it and then implements those exact strategies he claims to loathe directly back to the people that love and support him. So now they are controlled by his matrix. But remember, Andrew Tate is never satisfied.
It was good, but I don't ever feel like I'm satisfied.
Food means nothing when you're rich. It's too cheap. Any man who sits and says that sex is great or sex is fun just clearly hasn't had enough sex, because sex is...
Really? That's what I'm saying. When he's gotten to the point where he's made so much money at the expense of so many people, and he's had probably so many different women, and he's controlled so many different women, that he's dehumanized these women.
boring. Sex is a chore.
He's so rich, he doesn't even get fulfillment from food. Money means nothing. He said it over and over again, he wants to conquer.
We are obsessed with power.
I get more and more powerful.
You don't want money, you want power.
The only thing left for you to decide is if he's really trying to better the lives of others and allow them to escape the Matrix. Is he using the same exact brainwashing tactics the elite use on his own followers and living life like a reckless mafia boss? Or is this all just one long scheme for him to make another dollar and cure his boredom?
That was an excellent video about the dark reality of Andrew Tate's rise to fame. I really hope none of my guys, or girls, or anybody that's listening to this is a member of his war room. It is, he's really not adding anything to society. Zero. I've always said you have to have a mission in life. You have to, and my mission is to help people through this, through my work. Help people on the street. I'm not a sucker. I just have a big heart, and I love people. I love people, and I love helping people. And I get so much out of seeing somebody's face that I just helped. And I would rather be homeless than rich like this guy and have that lack of moral compass, that lack of morality, the lack of human connection. Because he doesn't get any joy from sex, it's a chore, he said. He doesn't get any joy from food because it's too cheap. Give me a break. You know, when we start our podcast, we will never have a guy like this on there. Because, and I'm probably adding to his fandom and famedom by analyzing. But I wanted to just give a shout out to the other side, you know, to the honorable side, to the loving your partner, you know, being true to your family, having a family, for crying out loud, having a career, having goals, having that stagnant pot of money that you add to every month. You watch. It won't be that long. It won't, and we'll follow this. It won't be that long before he's taken down. Because if he's powerful and seeks power, absolute power corrupts absolutely, and he's indicated that he is corrupt as hell. So you just watch. So this is Bruce Rivers reacting to the dark reality of Andrew Tate's rise to fame. Shout out to Cece for an excellent video. We'll see you next time on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter, on Patreon. Stop the self-snitching. And we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer. Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, board-certified criminal defense lawyer, board-certified by the National Board of Trial Advocacy and the Minnesota State Bar Association as a criminal law specialist and criminal trial specialist. What does that mean? It means I'm qualified to do what I do, and I do it well. Today we're going back to the well because this story is always in the news. Who? Mr. Top G! Andrew Tate. But before we get to Andrew Tate, this episode is brought to you by eSign.com. eSign.com. Let's say you're in solitary confinement, and the only thing you have is a laptop, and you need to sign your contracts with your lawyers because you're switching lawyers because you're pissed off at them because you're in solitary confinement. The new lawyers send you a contract, and they do it remotely by sending you a document with an e-sign on it. Now, you get 3 signatures a month. Download the app, and it's fantastic. So you're in solitary confinement. If you've got a laptop in there and you got internet service, it doesn't affect you at all. So go to eSign.com for any kind of remote business, and you can execute just about any kind of document you want. eSign.com. Download the app, 3 signatures a month for free. Now, Andrew Tate, Top G is now the bottom prisoner, that is. And how do you tweet when you're in solitary confinement? You want to answer that? No, I don't know. And how do you contact people when you're in solitary confinement? That's the other thing I'd like to know. But Andrew Tate has asked his followers for prayers as the former kickboxer currently stays in solitary confinement. In the darkened silence of solitary confinement, there is almost no noise. Pray for me. I can hear you. Okay, it's a little dramatic, I guess. So here's the thing. Solitary confinement is no joke, and I actually am not a fan of solitary confinement. I think it's cruel and unusual punishment, quite frankly. The whole purpose of putting somebody behind bars is to keep them out of society for whatever reason. Either they're a danger or a flight risk when it's pretrial. And in this case, you know, there's only 2 ways you get in solitary, right? Either you get into fights with people and you're being disciplined, or you need to be protected because you're either a celebrity or a top G, or you just need protection because too many people are messing with you. It really is a cruel thing to do to somebody, to put them in solitary confinement. And for somebody to be in solitary confinement, it has a very deleterious effect on your psyche because we're social animals, right? And if you're in a dark room by yourself for extended periods of time, you kind of go crazy. I don't know how he gets a tweet out. I mean, I don't think he's got a device in there. He might, but I doubt it. And if you're in solitary, generally you don't have visiting privileges. You don't have the ability to call somebody and say, hey, I'm in the hole. That's what the other thing they call it, is in the hole. But generally it's for disciplinary problems, you know, and it's a punishment, and it's usually for a definite period of time. Now remember, he was denied his appeal, so they extended it another 30 days. And the prosecutor can ask for up to 180 days. But I've had people spend a significant amount of time in solitary. When they come out, they're beaten down. I mean, it is really not a fun place to be. I thought Mr. Tate was the most perspicacious, the highest mental fortitude. Give me a break. Do you remember him saying that? He just so boisterous and so out there. And now he's eating those words. And one of the problems is when you have a situation where you bluster so much. I bluster a little bit, but hopefully I've got enough to back up my bullshit, right? But when you are sitting there blustering like you are, and then you criticize people, you criticize the very people that are housing you, telling them how corrupt you are.
Oh no, not a court in Romania. Internationally respected Romanian court. When you put me in jail, I'm gonna walk in there with a pile of money like this.
I tell you, every single one of those guards has heard that. The judge heard that. That motivates them to treat you like shit in jail. Now, I don't revel in the fact that he's suffering in jail. Would rather he not be in jail. I mean, but you got to be smart with your words, because if you're not, it comes to bite you in the ass. And as I am a player in the institution of law, I have to respect it, right? Because if I want to live to fight another day, I need to respect it, act accordingly. I can be a zealous advocate in my world and still, get the respect of a prosecutor and the respect of a judge. And I'm able to navigate those waters effectively. When you flout, now I don't hate Andrew Tate. I mean, I'm not saying I like him, but his bravado is something that is really biting him in the ass right now. He's flaunted a flagrant disregard for the rule of law and for the legal system. And now, at the end of the day, will he be found not guilty? I have no idea. I don't know the strength of their cases. But guess what? While they're sitting there, these two ladies are going to be snitches. You watch. I would bet you $1 to a hole in a donut that those ladies are going to be snitches. That's just my guess, because they can't take this. Once they start to crack, they might find a way out. In other words, snitch and they get released. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that's a possibility. But when you sit there and you flout a fundamental disrespect, and they've got so much material showing that he is not in any way respectful of the Romanian legal system or the British, or any legal system for that matter. Even his lawyers. I'm surprised he still has the same lawyers. You watch. I bet you in a little bit, it won't be too long before he all of a sudden says, my lawyer's not doing shit for me. I need to get a new lawyer. He's probably already saying that. I've seen guys like this. Unless what we see on tape is not how he is behind the scenes. But I doubt it. And so this is not the guy who said, "Oh, I'm gonna go in there. I'm just gonna get my money here, give my money there, give my money there, and I'm gonna be all." No, that isn't the way it works. And when you see guys do that, the people on the other end of that, the guards, the people running the place, the judge, the prosecutor, it motivates them to be 10 times harsher, to be not nice to him, to dot their I's and cross their T's. All the better. They're motivated. At the end of the day, in the final analysis, when you analyze his the cost benefit, he could have still maintained all that bravado, all the things that he needed to maintain for his persona, without that flagrant disrespect for the system, for the legal system. I mean, he said straight out that he went from London to Romania to avoid the legal system and to be able to commit crimes or commit non-felonies. You didn't have to do that. You could have been top G without self-snitching.
Get me out of jail.
Well, the law says
you're guilty. I said get me out of jail. I don't go see a lawyer to talk about the law. I've committed multiple felonies. You think you sound smart? Well, I went to law school and it says on page
we don't care about the law.
And that's really, really, really going to bite him. And if you remember what his lawyers have said, Mr. Tate has nothing but the utmost respect for the Romanian legal system. Yeah. So and we know that some of it, or all of it was 100% bravado. None of it was based in reality. And that's the danger of you guys following somebody that where their shit isn't based in reality. Like QAnon. Following somebody blindly. You can admire people, but you can still show that they have faults here or there. You know what I mean? You can't just so blindly say, I love Andrew Tate so much. And what do you get by being loyal to Andrew Tate? I mean, maybe you're a fan, and I guess at the end of the day, you just get disappointed. I mean, and I say that with some jocularity because I like to make people laugh a little bit, but there really isn't a solid reason to just get behind this guy. And I'm sorry, guys, but there just isn't. And I'm waxing philosophic here, and I'm really supposed to just analyze the criminal side of this, and I am to a certain degree. But the thing that's embedded in any kind of criminal problem is the social aspect of committing crimes and having to answer for them, right? So you guys don't follow guys like Andrew Tate. I mean, and I can't imagine many of you are, but don't follow in those footsteps, because look where it's gotten him, and it's gotten you, Bupkis. So this is just our little reaction to Andrew Tate being held in solitary confinement, which I'm totally opposed. I think it's cruel and unusual punishment. There's other methods of correcting somebody's behavior or protecting them. I suspect that it's some behavior issues while he's in there. And so we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, board-certified criminal defense lawyer. Make sure you subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, sign up for Patreon, and we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer React.
Just to clarify, I am accused of helping my friends get big on TikTok.
The girls do not even know the earnings they make from posts on OnlyFans. Primarily, I'm going to work these bitches like slaves and then make them work more hours and hours and hours. I work them like slaves. No, work like slaves. Minimum 10 to 12 hours a day. I've got some exciting news. We've got a brand new sponsor.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And he's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, your board-certified criminal defense lawyer. You're probably wondering, what the hell is this thing, right? See, when I was on my motorcycle trip, I was wearing Step 1. Step 1 is a high-performance underwear, and it's just awesome. But I went 8,500 miles from Minneapolis all the way to Alaska and around Alaska and back. And guess what? I didn't chafe, I didn't sweat. It was amazing, just absolutely amazing. Step 1 is a brand new sponsor for CLR. You're going to get a deal on these underwear. They're made out of this viscose from organic bamboo. They have a panel right here in between the legs that keep you from chafing. It's got a little pouch for your nestled goods. It's just an amazing product. Wore them for 8,500 miles. If you order these and you put in the code Bruce Rivers, all together caps, as the promo code when you check out, you'll get 25% off. They also have Black Friday sales, so up to 50% off, so make sure you check that out. And they have a 30-day guarantee. So if you don't like them, for whatever reason, you return them and you get your money back. Step 1's got all kinds of different patterns, different colors, whatever your style is, they got your style. Click on the link below and make sure you put in the promo code Bruce Rivers. I highly recommend you go and order. So today we're reacting to Andrew Tate's interview with Piers Morgan. This is an interesting interview and we're going to dive into it. And this is why when you have a criminal case pending, you shut the fuck up. You don't, anything he says is fair game for court. And I just can't believe, first of all, I guarantee his lawyers weren't endorsing him doing this. This is for public consumption. One of the things we're going to do here is we're going to match or test what he says in the interview compared to what's in the indictment. And what's in the indictment is based on evidence. It's based on what people have either said or what he has said. So let's just get right into this.
Well, nearly a year since we last sat down together. Very different time. It was in my London studio. And 8 days after that, you got arrested. What's the year been like for you?
It's certainly been an interesting one. I've been constrained this entire...
Why does he have the glasses on? Honestly, I know he's part of his top G image, but as you'll see, as he gets into this, he has, and I have watched this before, so you're going to get my analysis of this. But he's got a major criminal case pending where he can go to prison for quite a long time. You'll see that he doesn't address anything head on. It's all periphery. It's all generalities and denials that just don't make sense.
For a year, I spent 93 days in a Romanian dungeon, 5 months locked in my house, and now I'm restrained within the country of Romania. So it's certainly been a turbulent time.
The moment you got arrested, it was all pretty dramatic. The video came out, the world saw it, a lot of people smashing into your home. Did you have any inkling, warning that something like this may happen?
I knew it. I kept saying before I was arrested on every single podcast I did, I said, you get 3 lives in the world. The first life, they're going to cancel you. They're going to slander you. They're going to delete your access to social media so you can't defend yourself. The second life, they're going to try and put you in jail for no reason. And if you continue to speak against the power, they're going to assassinate you.
Okay, they're not going to assassinate him because it's not a death penalty type case. But I will have to say that he had the keys to the kingdom. And it's his actions that have caused all this, not just some willy-nilly actions of the government.
I knew I was on my second life. I kept saying it. I knew it was coming. I didn't know the bullshit reason they'd use, but I found out once I was in a cell.
Bullshit reason. We're going to get into that bullshit reason. And it's not just bullshit. Now remember, it's sex trafficking. So what are the 3 things? Force, fraud, or coercion.
When you were arrested, you don't speak any Romanian at
Zero.
all. And they didn't speak English to you.
Correct.
So you were taken to a cell. You had no idea what they were alleging you'd done.
I was arrested on the 27th of December, so because of Christmas and New Year's and other problems, they couldn't even translate my paperwork for 2 weeks. So for the first 2...
That's one of the things I don't like about having an investigative detention, because you're sitting there and you can't defend yourself and you can't get out because you don't know what the hell's going on.
2 weeks I was in a prison cell. I had no idea why. I was given papers in Romanian. I could read human trafficking. I understood, but I was like, human trafficking who, when, what? None of this makes sense. I waited 2 entire weeks inside of my cell before I was given an English translation, and then I realized exactly how ridiculous the whole case was.
So one of the things, you can see how he talks very fast, and he really thinks like very quickly, and you can tell that he knows everything he's talking about because he is speaking that is a cover, right? That is just his way of speaking to have authority, and he sounds like he's legitimate. Like, he must be telling the truth because he's got that cadence in his voice. Not so.
Just to clarify, I am accused of helping my friends get big on TikTok.
Okay, helping my friends get big on TikTok. Is that what you're being accused of? He would have these girls live stream TikToks. They would have to do this for hours and hours on end. They do it for 6, 8, 10, 12 hours a day. And that would be a feeder to OnlyFans. So he would create these OnlyFans that he's making shit tons of money, making money off TikTok, making money off of the OnlyFans, but not even telling these girls about the OnlyFans.
That is what I'm accused of. I told some girls I know how to post on TikTok to become viral when I was at the time the most viral person on the planet.
If we go to page 30 of the indictment, it says, the income obtained from the videos posted on TikTok is a split 50-50, meaning half the amount remains with the girls, and the other half goes to the Tate brothers. The girls do not even know the earnings they make from posts on OnlyFans. So they don't even know that there's a whole nother revenue stream. And so he's using them in both contexts, taking at least half their earnings. He's conning them and doing the OnlyFans without telling them. And the webcam business was still going strong in 2020.
I actually have to give massive credit to the Romanian judicial system because a judge one day sat down and said, why are these boys in jail, and let us go. I don't know if I would have had a fair shot like that in many other nations.
So if you remember right, they had to indict him, I think, by June. All right? So the judge didn't just say that there's, let's let these poor young men out, you know. They had to kind of set up a set of circumstances where they wouldn't flee and they wouldn't be a harm to the public. And so they put him on house arrest. But at the time, they still took all of his assets. Charging was still ongoing. And so this business that the judge just all of a sudden had sympathy for these boys because they didn't do anything wrong is so ridiculous. So this episode, just like all of our episodes, is brought to you by what? By eSign.com. eSign.com is a very effective way to remotely do business. I use it all the time in my practice when I send out a retainer agreement or get medical records. Let's say, for the sake of example, you have a business deal and you need to get it done fast. Well, eSign.com is a very effective way to get it done fast. You download the app, you get 3 free signatures a month. You can email whatever document you need, and the deal is done now. So I highly recommend you go to eSign and download the app and use it at your leisure. eSign.com. Because if it's not eSign, no one signs.
I think I asked you last time and you were a bit cryptic about it. You're not married yet.
No.
You have a partner who's the mother of your children.
Correct.
The same woman is the mother of all your kids?
It's confidential.
It's a bit stupid to say confidential.
It is confidential, Piers. It's
I
confidential.
don't think you marry and have kids with is confidential, surely.
It is for me.
Really?
Of course, I am basically #1 enemy of the state, Piers. Look what they've done to me. What have they put me in jail for?
#1 enemy of the state. You know, and if you look, the theme throughout his whole thing is what a victim he is. He's the victim, right? He is the absolute victim. But you know, and it's in the indictment and his own words that he talks about his own mafia ties. Talks about his ownership in the casinos, you know, and let me just tell you something. He's done himself in. He is not a victim, but he paints himself as a victim in this scenario.
At the beginning of this garbage, people were sitting there thinking, maybe he's a human trafficker. It's been a year. Who? Show me a picture. Show me a video. Who's even a victim? There's nobody.
So methinks thou doth protest too much. Mr. Tate, he says, who are they? They're in the fucking indictment. There's 7 of them. There's 7 victims, and there are probably more. But there's 7 victims in the indictment. It tells who they are. It's redacted because it's got their initials, and they are identified. And then there's chat logs. He's chatting with these people. Chat logs between Georgiana threatening these women. There's chat logs between Mr. Wonderful here, and there's chat logs with Tristan. They're all talking to these girls. There's 7 of them. Who are they? Bullshit. He knows exactly who they are. And not only that, there's also testimony from these girls. These are their statements. And they don't have any evidence. They just have statements. Statements, my dear, are evidence.
The whole thing is made up.
Well, we're going to come to what they say you've done, right? We're going to come to that. But I'm just curious. You come out of prison. You've got no ability to access any of your assets. How have you been functioning financially since then?
His own words aren't made up. He told you in his instructional videos, and those are used throughout the indictment. The indictment's 300 freaking pages. There's a lot of content there. And he tells you exactly how to control your woman, how they defraud them out of half their income. And there's also all kinds of things in the indictment about that are corroborated with WhatsApp messages and his own words. But now remember, they swept whatever money that they thought he had. But he's being funded somehow. And tell me that is not going to be a source of investigation for the cops.
I believe in prayer and I trust in God.
Well, prayer doesn't pay the bills.
And I do.
I believe in prayer and God, and I'm just a God-fearing guy that, likes to have women online for sex and use them as slaves. Bullshit. Oh, you all of a sudden got religion after you got taken into custody? Give me a break. But who is funding your program now?
Very best.
But prayer doesn't pay the bills.
Unfortunately, absolutely everything I own was seized by the Romanian state, so I'm just going to have to survive and do my very best.
Yeah, but how?
I'm doing my very best, Piers.
Have you got wealthy benefactors helping you?
I'm doing my very best. I wish I had wealth.
He's not answering the question. And he doesn't have to answer the question, but why the fuck is he sitting there with his sunglasses on? Why doesn't he have his shirt off? I don't know.
Benefactors. I wish I had people on my side.
Yeah, you can't function on no income at all.
Seems you can.
How?
I'm doing my very best, Piers.
What does that mean?
See, now look at what he's talking about. See the little smirk on his face? And, you can't do it without any money. Apparently you can. Fucking A. This is a prosecutor's dream right here. Because anytime they can catch him in a lie, and his little smug fucking ego is going to be his downfall. It already is.
Means I'm doing my very best. Absolutely everything I own is taken by the Romanian state. I don't have anything they don't have.
Now, listen to the coded language there. Absolutely everything I own. That means he's probably got women out there with shit in their name. That means he's hidden assets. And they're looking for those.
What does that mean?
It means that I believe in God and I pray.
Well, God's not going to pay your bills.
God has been paying my bills so far, it seems. It's amazing how far faith can take you. It's often when you have absolutely nothing left, people turn to faith. But you should turn to faith first, and you should believe in God when things are good, and then He will be there when times are bad.
Initially, you were put on this sort of rolling 30-day house arrest, and they kept renewing that month by month by month. And then in June, you and your brother and 2 others were formally charged with rape, trafficking, and forming an organized crime group to sexually exploit women. And there were 7 alleged victims named in the indictment. You said at the time, I look forward to being found innocent. You said earlier, who are these women? Well, there are 7 named in the indictment.
Yeah, have you seen the videos of them on the internet saying we're not victims? They made us be victims. We told them
Well,
we
that
weren't
will all
victims.
presumably be analysed in a trial. Do you know when the trial may be?
I have no idea. It's going to be
Do you believe it will happen?
I'm not sure.
That's the one thing that I'm not clear on either. I've read articles where they say that the trial could be years away. And can you imagine? Which I think in this country, we have the right to a speedy trial. There's if it's a federal case, you have the Speedy Trial Act, and you have the right to demand a speedy trial. So that means they only have a certain amount of time within which to present evidence to a jury. You can waive that or, have time excluded. But it can't just be, open-ended. That's the one thing I don't like about this system.
It could get to a point where a judge, anytime before the trial, decides his case is garbage and throws it away.
That ain't going to happen. That is not going to happen. And here's the other thing. He doesn't have the right to have a jury trial. It's a trial before a judge.
If you ask me what I believe happened, it's very simple. They threw me in a jail cell knowing they had no case, knowing they had no victims, but they thought if they plaster me all over the MSM and they say that I'm a bad person and they call enough people.
Okay, they have a 300-page indictment. 300 pages. Part of his words, many text messages, a lot of testimony from these 7 ladies.
Well, they will find.
Go to 2115.
The same women who say we were not exploited, he just told us how to do TikTok. Also, in the prosecution file, if you want to talk about it, there's not a single bank transfer. There's not a single piece of evidence for any money. So I'm accused of making money from TikTok, but they haven't found any money. There's no money, and the victims are saying, I didn't exploit them to do TikTok. The whole thing is a joke.
What is...
So he says there's no money. There's just no money. There's no money. Follow the money. Actually, whenever you have a case like this, you follow the money. In this regard, cash transfers were identified in the bank account of defendant Tate, 188,000 euros. 188,022 euros through 21 operations conducted between February 23rd, 2017 and July 18th, 2018. Defendant Nigel Georgiana Manuel recorded receipts from defendant Tristan Tate in the amount of 71,000. I mean, it's replete. There's transfer after transfer after transfer. I mean, there's millions of dollars going on here. It's not like he says hundreds of millions of dollars, but it's a lot of money. So for him to say they don't have any money, you think that we wouldn't fucking look, Andrew? Of course we're going to look. And I guarantee you there's a document to back every one of these up. So for him to say, but this is public relations. That's all it is. I'm the victim. There's nothing to see here,
I think problematic for you is the war room, which was a group
miscategorized and misunderstood.
It was called the war room.
Correct.
Okay. And it had a lot of people who were dubbed the generals who ran the war room
Correct.
for you. And the war room had 500 to 600 members. You paid, I think, $6,000+ to be a member of this. And when you saw the logs of the web chats between people from the war room to each other, a lot of it made disturbing reading. Were you disturbed by it when you read that?
Firstly, a lot of that is bullshit. A lot of that's fake. Secondly,
You think that literally those logs are fake?
absolutely. Second,
Okay, he just said all these chat logs are fucking bullshit, right? It's all fake. You know, he's got such a short goddamn memory. And this is why you don't get online and have to cover your ass because it's public relations. Let's just see what Mr. Tate posted on his war room. You know, the PhD pimps and hoes degrees. Update on the two living girls together. So they became good friends and everything was stable. The girl who moved lost her support networks at home, cemented her move, talking about staying forever, can't wait to come back, etc. So I had to tighten the screw. This is his own fucking words. So I said, somebody in her old town told me she worked in a sex club. I totally made this up from Sky. So he's completely manipulating and lying to her. You worked in a sex club. I did not work. Now she feels like she has to. So look at this whole text. And then another element. Since she moved, she's been fed, but nothing else. She's been fed, but nothing else. She's broke. She can't go home. She can't leave the house. Man, I almost sound evil. Not almost. But I'm not. I'm a shepherd, leading the sheep. She doesn't realize that following me makes life better for her. Even though she can't leave the fucking house. Even though she can't go home because she's a captive. She has no money. I mean, are you fucking high? This is the definition of sex trafficking. Started calling her a liar and threatened to kick her out. But the real goal is for her to agree to never go anywhere without me, not even her hometown. I need her working, not visiting friends back in her hometown. So putting nails in the coffin, saying my people there are talking bad about her. This is classic brainwashing and manipulation. Control, control, control. And guess what that control is? That control is coercion. So we have the force. Well, we don't have the force yet. That's in another area. But we have the fraud with the taxes, and now we have the coercion. This control, limiting their she's got food, but that's it. You know, it's control. This is what we're talking about here. You know, what kills me is guys with such hubris when it's so easily fact-checked. And he's saying all these text messages are bullshit.
But the BBC verified them.
The BBC verified them, or they're the same people who verified the vaccine. Those people.
And this guy could never testify. He could never testify. But I don't know if you have a Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination or something similar to it in Romania. But I mean, you got an audience of one. You got a judge.
Let me ask you about the lover boy method. So the suggestion is that you and your brother and others, let's talk about you, that you deploy the lover boy method where you would make women fall in love with you. You would then persuade them to do webcam.
TikTok.
Webcam.
Let's just talk about the lover boy method for a second. When you're in a position of power, when you have a position of wealth and you flaunt it all over the place, there's all kinds of people that will come out of the woodwork to follow you. There just is. And you have a responsibility when you have that power. You have the responsibility to treat people decently. And instead, he used that power to his benefit and manipulated that power to extract whatever the fuck he could out of these girls.
Stuff, right?
TikTok.
Okay, but wait, let's call it webcam stuff, right?
No, let's not call it that. The indictment is about TikTok.
Okay, what would you make the women do?
The indictment's not just about TikTok. The indictment's about TikTok leading into a webcam.
Or what would they do with you?
I don't make anybody do anything.
Okay.
In fact, let's talk about the lover boy method.
I don't make anybody do anything. There's message after message after message after message. And the messages I just read. The post on the war, his own site says he needs to make sure that they work and make that dependence. The whole thing was about how he can make them dependent upon him and then make them just absolutely be beholden to him and not being able to do what they want. Absolutely be beholden to him and not being able to do what they want.
They say, he's making women do, well, we found conversations where he gave advice on how to go viral on TikTok. He's making women do TikTok, but he isn't being horrible to them. He's not hitting them. He's not being mean to them.
Okay. So he's saying he's not being mean to them. He's just being so sweet. Oh my God. I wish my daughter could date Andrew Tate. Fuck that. The accused Tate told victim CB that she had to obey his words and wishes, referring to himself as a king. In the accused Tate's view, that was the only way the relationship could exist. The victim, CB, had to obey him completely. The more the victim, CB, resisted, the more violent the accused Tate became, causing trauma and suffering to the victim. The accused Tate was always violent when he had sexual relations with the victim, CB. In this regard, the victim, CB, mentioned an incident that occurred in the UK when she and the accused, Tate, Andrew, consumed alcoholic beverages. The physical violence exerted by Tate affected the victim CB's breast implant and caused an injury to her eye. She provided photographs and messages related to these injuries to the authorities. So when you say that there's no evidence, one has to look at this in the totality. We've got Andrew's own statements. We've got the posts to the war room. We've got her statements, and they're corroborated by photographs and messages from Tate. So later on in the indictment, he intimidates her and threatens her, saying he's super connected and you don't want to go to the police. Now, when you have somebody she's probably in her early 20s, or if that, no money, no way to get anywhere, no power, zero power. And that is what he did. He went after the powerless.
On that last point, you don't say if a woman doesn't want to work, a man has to take care of it. You say a woman shouldn't work.
I say my woman won't work.
Right.
I'm talking about my personal experience. I said any girlfriend of mine, because I'm in an extremely fortunate financial position. I was before Romania took everything, of course. I have hundreds of millions of dollars. So because I am
hundreds of millions of dollars, that's not true.
So because I am in my position, I would not want my woman to work. I think there's more important things she can do.
If you have hundreds of millions of dollars, where you said you had a worth of 17 million.
No, I said they took 17 million.
So where's the rest?
Oh, was that a slip? Was that a slip? They took 17 million. I made hundreds of millions of dollars. And you had all this catty bullshit that you did at the beginning where you wouldn't tell Pierce Morgan, how God is paying your bills. And if you look, through the indictment and you see how they're really hustling, and that's what they call themselves, Hustle University. They're hustling these girls out of small amounts of money. It's not hundreds of millions of dollars. It's petty bullshit. But they need it. They need it because they're behind the 8 ball and everything.
They must have taken it. I think they have it. Or maybe I lost it. I think I lost it somewhere.
They might have taken it. I might have lost it. I don't know. Very catty.
You've never had hundreds of millions of dollars.
Of course not.
You haven't, have you?
Of course not.
You said they took all your assets.
Exactly.
Well, did they or didn't they?
Of course, they took everything.
That smug... Tell me that's going to work in front of a judge. Tell me that smug smile that, oh, of course they did. Yeah, they must have.
They'll be watching this. Are they to assume that there are hundreds of millions more dollars they haven't got yet?
Well, they're watching this. That's right. They take absolutely everything. You have it all.
Right.
That taunting the fucking prosecutor. Here's the thing. Why did I say that so much? Here's the thing. The prosecutors, when they see a guy like this, guess what they are? Fucking motivated. And, the feds are just tenacious. So when you sit there and you're smug, you're better off being quiet.
Park the illegality aspect to one side. Do you feel it was moral?
10 years ago, I helped women promote their profiles on the internet. Correct. 10 years ago. Firstly, I have not been involved with it for 7 years. It's not how I make money. I haven't touched it for a very...
10 years ago, he helped women, so that would have been, 2013, 2012? He helped women promote their profiles on the internet. And that's really what he did? No. He created a factory. Remember he said at one time he had 75 girls working for him? I mean, it's just absolute nonsense. If you go to page 8 of the indictment, he said all he did was help people 10 years ago. 10 years ago, he helped some poor, unfortunate souls get famous on the internet, or, get profiles on the internet. But on July 19th, 2020, this is on page 8 of the indictment, Tristan Tate sent the following audio message indicating his control over the accounts and the exploited individuals. The new girls I have, including the girl with the statue, I wouldn't trust any of these bitches on OnlyFans. I wouldn't give any of them the password. Then he goes on to say, I don't want any of them to have passwords for Pornhub, Xvideos, OnlyFans, MFC. I don't want them to have passwords. I don't want them to have anything. MFC is My Free Cams. It's your webcam. And this is 2020. This is not 10 years ago. He goes on to say, transmitted the following audio message revealing their operational approach. Primarily, I'm going to work these bitches like slaves, and I don't want to write down the MFC score much. So when they stop performing well on MFC, or stagnate, or after they finish the video, after all the tokens can be taken out of the room, and I'm going to change something, and then make them work more hours and hours and hours. I work them like slaves. Tristan Tate then also says, no, work like slaves, minimum 10 to 12 hours a day. And if they say, it was a job, I had a sex trafficking trial, and the prosecutor in that case had probably the best line I've ever heard, and it was devastating to our case. You walk away from a job. You run away from slavery. Well, in that case, I represented all right, that's enough of that shit. Here's the thing. This is just part 1. And what I wanted to do in this video is just take what he's saying and juxtapose it to facts. Juxtapose it to the indictment. The indictment's 300 pages. It's available. And I suggest you read it for yourself and compare it to what he's saying. Because it's bullshit. If this is my client, I probably would fire my client if he went on TV like this. Because it's like, you're going to make my job almost impossible. So our reaction to Andrew Tate as we kind of go on, because there's going to be a part 2 to this, and whatever's relevant, we'll kind of analyze it, and we might do a deeper dive on the indictment itself. But this just goes to show you what he's saying compared to what the facts on the ground are, and it has to be tested. So the statements are not cross-examined yet, so that's the one thing that you got to keep in mind. So we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, sign up for Patreon, and we'll see you next time here on Criminal